Right. So, in the previous session, we discussed about introduction about application engineering, support related stuff. What exactly application engineering is all about, why application engineering is so important. So, being an application engineer, what is that are we going to do, right? So, application support engineer is concerned. So, what application support engineering is what something we do, right? So, in regular intervals, like what kind of support are we going to provide, right? So that's what generally application support intro part was covered. Wherein today I'm going to discuss about what are the different common functions we see from the application engineering point of view. Do remember, as far as our course is concerned, this is focusing from the cloud perspective, especially because most of the applications now and then were moving from the traditional point of sale system to traditional application legacy systems to the new cloud applications. In this regard, so when it comes to the application development support, it's always we have to take a chance of using cloud service providers, because either it can be Azure or it can be AWS, all that. In our training, as I stated in the beginning of the session earlier, in the last session, as I mentioned you. So what are we doing is application support engineering training are we conducting now. This is in context to the Azure environment, means how the application understanding, right? So all these things is what something we see from the application development from the cloud environment, Azure point of view. Now, today I'm going to discuss about what are the common functions will be there. So these are the different common functions being into applications support engineering is what something we do in the industry. One is about upgrading the hardware. So whatever the required hardware to be upgraded, everything we have to be taken care of. At the same time, if there is any kinds of sales recommendations you want to be performed. At the same time, whenever it is comes under any kind of document or information systems, which normally we will be using. So that we will be using. Next, we need to understand about the supporting the existing hardware and software applications, followed by the technical support. In this regard, majorly this, whatever the information we are discussing so far, whatever the application support engineering process are we talking about in regular intervals in regard to the training is concerned. Normally, first of all, being into application support engineer, we must be knowing about few things, because this is what something are we learning now. So the first we will be learning about the application basics, right? So this is what something which are we learning from today onwards, right? One is about the application basics, wherein we try to understand about what are the different applications we have, right? So how the application structure and behavior will be, followed by that what kind of support services are we going to provide for any application. And we must be knowing about high-level claims, followed by the stages, and all everything will be covered. This is point number one. Point number two, we must be knowing about the troubleshooting part. This is also one thing which we must be learning, and this is what something being an application support engineer is what something we require. So application support engineering, where we must be knowing about the troubleshooting part. In this troubleshooting part, we are going to discuss about how to analyze the logs, followed by the kind of metrics that we are going to follow. Next, how to identify and resolve the issues and all. At the same time, how to debug and diagnose the issues. Further, there are different open source tools are available online nowadays. So that also we are learning, and that is also one of the key and important responsibility one has to be maintained with. The next one about the maintenance part. So maintaining of an application, either it can be how to understand at the same time patches, updates, right? So all these things are comes under the maintenance part. Next one about the performance. So when it comes to the application engineering itself is concerned, one is about the performance, right? So performance of the application, either in context to the stability, tracking. At the same time, what are the different metrics are we going to follow when it comes to the performance of the application is concerned. Further, there are different tools and then are we using that also are we using it. Next, we will be discussing about the communication part from the context of the stakeholders. So wherein we try to understand who are our stakeholders, identifying the right stakeholders for the project. So followed by this, how to analyze them, how to manage them. At the same time, how to develop a communication plan, because this is where generally project development communication plan. So how to develop that and how to share with the people. This is also one thing which normally will be covered in this. Next one about the collaboration. This is also something which normally we must perform as into application engineering side, because collaboration from the context of team collaboration, all that. Next one about the software installation. Last but not least, software installation is also important, because how to install the software, right? So what are the different installation procedures we follow, right? So, so yeah. So what are the different softwares are we going to install, right? So installation procedures, and what are the different guidelines we follow, right? What are the steps and procedures? This software installation, make sure the software installation for two things. One is relating to on-premise and second is relating to cloud. Both we need to learn, because our course is application support engineer. Okay, this is what something as I'm mentioning you, repeating the same application support engineer is what something which the course meant for, right? So when it comes to the application support engineer is a course, it's always important for us to learn about the software installation part, how to install the software, both on-premise and cloud. Because on-premise there are different softwares we want to use, third-party tools and all. IDEs we have to install it. So basic installation and as well as on-premise, followed by both on-premise and cloud, both we have to learn, because we never know what kind of opportunities we come across. But as far as the as understanding itself is concerned, now and then we are moving towards the cloud environment. In context to that, whenever we are talking about application support engineering, Azure is an example and we are taking cloud example. But on-premise application is also taken place now and then. So there is a prominence in context to the software installation, which is something essentially important. So how the software installation from the premise, on-premise and as well as cloud, both we are learning in this. So in this, we need to learn about the installation part as is stated earlier. At the same time, we must be knowing about what are the different guidelines to be required to follow to install the software. At the same time, what are the steps and procedures that are required to follow. Everything will be part of the software installation here. Next, last but not least, we'll be discussing about Azure part, because cloud environment and cloud services is what something which normally are we using now and then. So in this Azure environment, before I'm getting into this Azure environment, we are going to discuss about the cloud services basics, because this is something essentially useful, as in when I could see there are some people who are new to this the field of it, so that they must be knowing about the cloud service providers and what are the different cloud service providers we have, comparing that, and what are the different cloud services will be there. So either it can be Azure or anything, like we have infrastructure services, we have platform services, we have software services, all that. So we need to learn that, and we need to have that comparison, understanding all that. And what are the different services Azure will be provided, followed by the Azure fundamentals. At the same time, how to develop an application in using the cloud service providers like Azure, all that. So this is also something we'll be learning under this training, as I stated. I think in the last session, if you remember, the same thing I have explained you on a simple note. But today I'm giving you a clear understanding over the detailed note over the application support engineer, what exactly application support engineer do. So this is what something which is really useful for people, right? So because I could see there were few people, as I mentioned, even new people who are new to the field of IT and who want to become a career in the field of IT, I could see. This is something for everyone, right? That's the reason why even as in I specified you. So the target audience, if I see, right? So because last time also I told you. So the target audience are two. So new learners, because people who are new to the field of IT or something, who wants to make the career in the application side, development side in the field of IT, new learners who are maybe irrespective of the uh, irrespective of the uh, departments they come from, irrespective of the domains they are coming from, irrespective of the professional experiences they are coming from. New learners, uh, right? So new learners is one thing. At the same time, existing professionals, existing who are looking for career change or career transformation, whatever I can say, right? So who are looking for career change. So both the people, this application support engineer training can be done because infrastructure support is also there, right? So there is infrastructure support, majorly focusing on the infrastructure side, routers, firewalls, right? So all these things we need to learn from the infrastructure point of view. So there will be two different things. One is application support side, infrastructure support engineering side also. But our focus is more on the application support engineering, wherein you will be learning about all the stages of application development, right from the installation, right from communication, collaboration, right from performance, maintenance, troubleshooting. Everything you will be learning in this course, right? So this is all about this. And tomorrow I'm going to start with the basics of application. Application basics is what something which I'm starting from tomorrow onwards. We will continue tomorrow. Okay. See you then. Bye.